Hi, this is Kate from Grade Education Centre with some exciting news for you. CELTA is going fully online, which means you do not have to come to our office to get this qualification any longer. CELTA, 100% online. Blended CELTA has existed for a while now, and we are currently running our second course very successfully. On the blended CELTA, there are two things happening. First of all, this is the online input, which is done using the Cambridge platform, and candidates normally do that at any time that's convenient for them. We call that asynchronous learning, which means that if you're learning something, you're doing that without the tutor. You do get some feedback from your tutor, however, it's done a little bit later, after you've submitted the task. There's also a synchronous learning part, which is done in two ways. First of all, those are the Zoom meetings in which we get together with the candidates and practice everything that's been learned online. The second synchronous part is the face-to-face TP, which happens during the 2 weeks, which candidates have to spend at our office teaching. With the CELTA going 100% online, this teaching can be done fully online using Zoom. And that's the beauty of it. You do not have to travel to our office any longer, and everything can be done online. So why is the CELTA going 100% online now? With the situation in the world, as you may know, we're not allowed to leave our buildings. And we have no other choice but to do things fully online. This is how our school has been operating for a while now, and this is what Cambridge has allowed. In the past, we had to have the TP done face-to-face for the CELTA certificate to be valid. However, for the next couple of months, Cambridge have said that it's possible to do the TP online and still get a valid CELTA certificate. So we're just going to use this opportunity and reformat the course a little bit, and also hopefully give all of you a chance to take the CELTA and use the time wisely. Obviously, there is quite a lot of difference between teaching face-to-face and teaching online. For example, looking at what your students are doing, or monitoring, as we call it. In a real classroom, it's very easy to move around and look into the students' pieces of paper and see what they are writing and whether they are making mistakes or not. When we're teaching online, it's fairly difficult to do. Personally, I also quite like seeing where the students' eyes are and where their pens are and what they are doing in their handout. It's easy to think that you cannot do it online, however you can. With the modern technologies, with Zoom for example, it's possible to share the screen and see what the learners are doing, for the learners to share their screens and for us to see what they are doing. And this is what we're going to learn to do together on the CELTA online. The beauty of it is that we're still going to learn all the basic principles in the communicative methodology. For example, giving instructions. It's the same everywhere. However, we have to be a little bit more careful with instructions online, and we're going to focus on that in particular. Monitoring. We have to monitor in a face-to-face classroom, and we still have to monitor in an online classroom. Those things are done differently, and we're going to learn both. The criteria for the teaching practice will stay the same. We will still be assessing you and looking at the same things as we would be looking in a face-to-face classroom. However, you will learn to do that in principle, basically how it's done in the communicative methodology and how it's done online. I've spoken to quite a few candidates who would like to do the CELTA online now, and one of the most common questions I hear is whether it's going to be as effective as the face-to-face CELTA. And personally, I believe it is, because we're going to have the same number of course hours. That's inevitable, that's a Cambridge requirement. We're going to go through all of the same input on teaching lexis, input on teaching grammar, learner autonomy, using materials, everything. However, we will add some input on teaching online. And also, because all of the input will be done using Zoom, you will see how to use different tools and techniques, how you can share your screen, how you can use the whiteboard, how you can annotate things, and how to give control to the other students. So basically, by being an online student, you will feel what your students will be feeling, and hopefully this will give you more insights. Also, as I mentioned before, we're going to use all of the same criteria to assess your teaching practice, so it's going to be exactly the same as your face-to-face CELTA. For a lot of people, online learning sounds like, here is a bunch of things, here is some material for you, go and study it yourself. And so the question is, am I going to have enough contact with my tutor? And the answer is yes, definitely. There's going to be several points of contact. First of all, input, definitely. It's going to be done as synchronous learning, so you will be all doing things online at the same time together with your tutor. Also, there's going to be assisted lesson planning. This is when you get together with your tutor, hopefully individually or as a group, and you discuss what you're going to be doing in your teaching practice. There's going to be teaching, definitely observed by your tutor, in which your tutor will be there in your classroom, looking at what you're doing. Feedback after that, in which you get together with your tutor and with the other candidates and discuss what worked, what didn't work, how things can be improved. And this is one of the most productive parts of the CELTA. Also, on this online course, we're going to plan some individual consultations with your tutor so that you could discuss any questions you might have, any problems, any suggestions, and if you need a little bit of help with the online, your tutor is going to be available for that. Technical difficulties are inevitable, and we are going to have some problems at the very beginning. That I can promise. We're not afraid, and we're going to deal with those as we go. If you have a technical difficulty, you will be able to contact your tutor, and the tutor might be able to help straight away. Also, we have our office managers who are working at this very moment, and if you call our office, they will be able to help you and tell you how to test your microphone, how to test your video, how to connect, and some other things. We're going to provide you with some input on how to teach using Zoom, so you're not going to be left on your own. We're going to show you how to use all the tools, how to use the chat, how to send messages, how to respond to different things on Zoom. If you're still experiencing a difficulty, there will be your course peers. They might help you as well. We will do all we can to make sure the experience is comfortable for everyone. For those of you who are already teaching online, it's clear that this is a great opportunity to get your CELTA online. For those of you who haven't tried teaching online yet, here is your chance. Before we start the course, we're going to have a couple of trial sessions to make sure you can access the platform, you can use Zoom, you can connect to the meeting, and everything is working smoothly. So on the very first day, in the very first meeting, you will already know what you're doing and how to do things. Isn't that great? Also, we're going to walk you through all the little technicalities. We're going to show you how to use different tools so that you're comfortable doing that in your teaching. You can learn all of this from the comfort of your home with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Of course, we're not expecting you to be eating while you're learning, but a cup of tea or coffee is okay. We're very flexible here. And finally, we all know that at this very moment, there isn't very much we can do. We cannot go out and see our friends. So let's use this time wisely. Let's learn to do new stuff and develop together. Most importantly, I cannot promise that CELTA will be available 100% online forever. Cambridge are saying that it's only possible to do that in May, June, possibly July, but we don't know yet. So let's use this opportunity. Take the CELTA fully online. If you're interested, send us an email at celta@grade.ua or go to our website and register straight away. I'm really looking forward to seeing you on this course.